This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander on VSiN.
And the second I land here, Kelly, I got to use chapstick on my bottom lip. Like clockwork.
No way.
Cut glass with it. Good Monday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, Sirius XM Channel 158. It's Gill Alexander. It's Kelley Bydlon. Back together again.
That's right. Welcome back, man.
Thank you. Shout out to my mishpucha, Dustin Sweetelson, for a fantastic job. Matt Brown, obviously, as well.
Yep.
Before that, are you losing more weight, man?
Who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe a few pounds.
Maybe have a sandwich.
Maybe a
at this
few
point.
pounds.
My mother would say, "You're exaggerating now."
That was every time I ran into Sam Panayotovich this past week.
That's what he would say.
There were like three times we almost just literally ran into each other, like going around corners. He was like, "My God, stop losing weight."
He's right in this case. He's right. By the way, I come back from every vacation as if I'm midway through a sentence like that. I was workshopping the bottom lip one, which is very true, by the way. 6 weeks, you don't have to use anything in California. Second you land here, you do.
Yep.
It was between that and I was going to be mid-sentence on, I don't hear you having to praise George Mikan, Dolph Shays, and Bob Cousy every other hour for creating that league. But I decided that would be too controversial. That's why I didn't bring it up. On the show today, Greg Peterson. Yes. Greg and I are supposed to go to Texas Roadhouse. And then when I brought that up, Kelly and the crew are like, we're coming too.
Yeah, for real.
So Greg Peterson with all his MLB picks on a shortened Monday, shortish, 10 games, MLB card. By the way, 6 West Coast games tonight out of 10. That's odd. Don't see that every day. Wes Reynolds, his normal Monday appearance, golf, college football, and Adam Burke with the Guardians finally dropping. It only took a year and 2/3 for that to happen. There were, 4 games under 500? There's still time. But I have a pre-flop season win total under on them. All of that on the show today. We'll talk about most wins in Major League Baseball, fewest wins. We'll talk also about just a awards heat check in Major League Baseball. Kelly, why don't we start with August most wins?
Let's do it,
Why don't we do that?
What a run this has been.
On the heels of, I don't know if you guys know this, but we hit the Red Sox 80-1 in July. Has that ever been brought up on the
Came
show
up
before?
like once, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe twice.
I did come on the show. You guys were kind enough to invite me for a segment while I was gone and to give my August most wins play, and that was on the Detroit Tigers at 60-1. And it has started out quite nicely. They're 6-2 to begin the month of August. Tigers are now 15-1 to win the month of August for those who want to jump in on that now. The only 2 teams that have more wins currently, the 7-1 Rays, didn't see that coming, and the 7-2 Cubbies, which I did see coming. If you recall, I had them as my second choice behind the Tigers. By the way, that's the other thing about July I didn't bring up. As great as the Red Sox 80-1 was, I also hit 1, 2, 3. I hit the trifecta of
those were your 3 choices?
Red Sox
at the top?
first, Brewers second, Braves third.
You know what? I knew that about the Brewers. I knew they were up there. I didn't think about what all 3 of them
Can you
were.
imagine what that would have paid out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, man, me and you might be up against it this year because or this month, I took the Cubs into last week. Remember we were talking about when you jumped on, and I was like, I think this is the team, like where if you get through those first couple series, Dodgers, Yankees, the schedule gets a lot lighter. So I've got like an 8-1, not nearly as fun as your ticket.
No, but that's still, Cubbies are, again, I had them in June. They went 16-10, were it not for the Marlins. That would have been in play. Cubbies playing great baseball. The thing that I'm...
What a race, though, this is, right? Like this is like the best teams in baseball.
Look at the very bottom, though. Dead last, 30th place, month of August, the Los Angeles Dodgers, who break a 7-game losing streak with a win yesterday. 1-7 now, early on the season. They're 90-1, by the way, if you want to get in on the Dodgers for the month of August. I would suggest not doing that. By the way, do you know the last World Series champion? Trivia question.
Okay.
Last World Series champion that had a 7-game losing streak during the regular season, but still went on to win the World Series?
The Giants.
No.
I don't know.
Try to guess again. The 2025 Los Angeles Dodgers, who lost 7 games in a row before the All-Star break last year, before going on to win the World Series.
Yeah, they had their stumbles. But that was before the All-Star break.
It's right before the All-Star break. Yeah.
Right.
So they lose 7 in a row here, obviously later, now in August. see if the Dodgers come back, still win the World Series. That's all they care about. That's all they care about.
I did enjoy them being, I was looking at these odds this morning, so they're 90-1. Also 90-1 to finish most wins for the month are the Angels, the White Sox, the A's, and then you have 4 other teams that are still longer than that.
Yeah. That's how much respect the Dodgers get?
That's how much respect the Dodgers get.
At 1-7. The last thing on this that I just want to say is, again, for, what's the difference between VSiN and sort of mainstream shows? They're all reactive, right? They're showing highlights. It's reactive. And we try to be proactive. That's why we're here as a network. And so even in this, August 10th now, Kelly? Even in 10 days' time, when you hear people talking about the Detroit Tigers now, all you hear from people is what was outlandish by us 10 days ago. Which is 10 days ago, I was like, they're going to trade Skubal, and they're still going to go for it. Yeah, what are you talking about? They got rid of Skubal and Mize, right? And now everybody who talks about the Tigers is like, oh, clearly they're going for it. They're 1 game out in the wild card. They're 3.5 out of the division. It's like, okay. That's the difference between VSiN and the rest.
If you were ever to hit 2 in a row, I would really hope it'd be these two. Because
be
the Red Sox 80-1 with all the CLV you got was a lot of fun. And then, like, do you have any tweets and stuff I got off to the side that were like he knows, right? Like, he's aware. Right?
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, we know I know he's aware. He talked about that Skubal is probably going to be gone, and he's still betting this. He likes the reasons besides that.
I got a tweet. Someone tweeted that at me. Like, seriously,
right,
do you know that
seriously,
Skubal got shit? I go, that can't be.
There was just like serious concern for people that I was getting over that from you.
But can we pour one out for the Red Sox? Before they lose this series, these last 2 games to the Athletics, the Red Sox won 27 out of 30 baseball games.
It was incredible, man. It was incredible. Dustin and I were on top of it like all last week. Like the number of like series sweeps against like teams with winning records and teams that were in first place, and it was an amazing run.
Just incredible, absolutely incredible. The other thing that I'm sure you and Dustin and Matt talked about extensively, obviously the Hall of Fame game is now already in the rear view. We have the 3-week preseason right in front of us. Then there'll be a week off. Then it's the regular season. We start things for real.
Let's go, baby. Come on.
But, again, this is just, I'm sure you guys talked about it, but I wanted to come in and just say it up front, and then we can obviously move on, which is you will, again, read on Twitter, some who even worked at this network in the past, right? Who are like, oh, anybody who bets preseason football is a degenerate. Can we stop with that already? Can we stop with that already? Now, you are perfectly okay saying you don't want to bet it, right? If you don't have the time, if you don't have the interest.
It's like
fine.
a different sport.
That's fine. Yeah. That's no problem with that. But please don't then conflate that with, and you all are ridiculous for doing so. Because nothing is like preseason football in terms of line movement. You will never see this in the regular season. And I want to repeat something. I want to give a shout out to our buddy Drew Dinsick. You saw Drew over at Bet Bash. Everybody seemed to have a great time at Bet Bash, by the way.
Saw Drew many times.
Sorry I missed that. Drew, who did a great tennis seminar as well. Drew said this last year. This was going into last preseason. And I want to just sort of focus on this big sort of macro stat to let people know just how profitable preseason could be. Because right, with minus 110 sports, with that kind of VIG, whether it's basketball, football, or whatever, got to hit 52.4% to break even. Well, preseason, Drew did an 1,100 preseason game sample size. Do you remember this going into last preseason? So the last 1,100 preseason games before that.
I do not remember this. Okay.
447 of which moved 1 point or more.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about moves of 1 point or more. If you get ahead of it, remember, preseason football is an information game. Are you a better Googler? Are you a better information gatherer, quicker, I should say, than the sports books themselves, than the markets? And if you get ahead of the ones that move 1 point or more, again, a 447 game sample size of those games that did, your ATS hit rate, 65%. So if you get ahead of movements in these lines, major movements of 1 point or greater, you will hit at a 65% ATS rate. Now, here's where the Steve Fezzik's of the world will have their heads explode off their bodies, but the data supports this as well. I would never recommend this in any other sports betting endeavor ever, right? And I'm not recommending it here either, but I'm just using this data to support a point. which is, let's say you don't get ahead of those line moves of the games that moved 1 point or greater. Remember, it's 65% if you get ahead of those line movements. Let's say you didn't bet them until you saw the line move a point or more. Again, don't ever do this in any other sport, even in this sport at other times, but in the preseason, you could do this. If you were at the end of the steam of the ones that move 1 point or greater, guess what your hit rate is?
58%?
Bingo.
Is that what it was? Yeah, I remember it being sick.
So again, there's no other situation in sports betting where I'd recommend that. And again, don't clip out just the little part because it's ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
But that's just to let you know that this is its own animal. Mm-hmm. And if you can do that, we got 6 games on Thursday to kick off week 1.
I got bets, baby.
I will get to Kelly's bets in a little bit on these. And there's other things, right, that we've done through the years. But that's the biggest thing you should know. But obviously, the 3-team 10-point teasers where we take these low totals and drop them down 10 points, those are rarer in terms of their availability than ever before. I know you could do them with some offshore pillars. I don't know any legal shops that allow you to do that still. Do they?
I'll check on the break.
Yeah, we'll check. That's obviously a move. You knock them down to 26, 27.5, that kind of thing. 3.10 teamers. But again, it's a 3-week preseason. It used to be 4, and I would always have that great trend. Dr. Bob was famous for this trend, which is a team that lost in week 1 of the preseason versus a team that won in week 1 heading into week 2. It was just that simple. You bet on the team that lost in week 1 against the spread in week 2 against the team that had won in week 1. But those don't exist anymore because now with a 3-week arc, teams play the entire schedule of preseason differently from one team to the next. Used to be very uniform. Week 3 is the big one. Week 4, we're sitting everybody. Not like that anymore. Coming back, more NFL next on A Numbers Game. You're here because you want an edge. That's what separates listeners from winners. But let's be real, mindset alone doesn't get bets home. Pros win because they've got the tools, the data, and the discipline. And now so can you. VEASAN Pro gives you access to the same real-time insights the sharps use. No secrets, no fluff, just actionable info that moves markets. Tap the link and see why serious bettors are turning knowledge into profit with VEASAN Pro.
A Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Football is back, and some of the best betting opportunities of the year start with the NFL preseason. Sign up for the VEASAN Pro guide today and get both our NFL and college football betting guides. That's sign up for VEASAN Pro and get those guides. Packed with team previews, power ratings, proven betting systems, and best bets from VEASAN's sharpest minds to help you bet football smarter all season long. You also get daily best bets, real-time betting splits, AI-powered prop projections, including our new MLB player props and total picks. Or totals picks, I should say, plus 24/7 video on the VEASAN Watch app. Start today for just $9.99 or get a full year and save 50% with a VEASAN Pro annual subscription. Head to VEASAN.com/subscribe now. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. Kelly, we get tweets. Oh, I know. So many jokes about the tweets when I was going.
We get tweets.
Marcus Phillips 2.0. Oh, wow. 13 years ago today, Katy Perry released Roar. And he points out epic Super Bowl prop moment with Gill. Yes, we had her singing Roar first when she was the Super Bowl halftime show. Thank you for remembering. Patrick Kelly with the Welcome Back Kotter theme song. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate that. Dennis M. He wants to hear an NBA take later in the day. NBA Most Improved Player. Do we have that later today?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. He wants to hear that take from you, Dennis M. Dan Picarillo, guess who's back? He does the Snoop meme on there. Ice Goon. Thank you, Dan. Ice Goon. Attention Circus Security this morning. You will see someone try to enter the VEASAN studio and sit next to Kelly. I know you think he might be trying to illegally break in, but it is okay. His name is Schmalexander or something like that. Just look the other way. By the way, Derek Stevens. Can I shout out Derek Stevens? I know you think I'm going to shout him out for Survivor or all the contests. No, something far greater. There is, I missed this in the 6 weeks I was gone. 3 off air, by the way. Let's not get crazy. There is a new drink refrigerator.
Pretty big deal.
In the Bat Cave.
Pretty big development, yep.
I had to walk in. James is at security. James looks just like Emmitt Smith. And I said, James, I go, am I allowed to take one of these drinks? He goes, oh, yeah, I think you can.
Yeah, man. Big development.
My God, it's fantastic. Jason H11. Hey, Kelly, who's the new guy? Sounds familiar, but can't place him. Welcome back, Gilly. Thank you, Jason. And Tony Hernandez. Dustin, I see you have a new partner. Congratulations. Seriously, fellas, it's nice to see that everything is in place for a great upcoming football season. Yeah, man, we can't wait. We were talking before the break about the games that move a point or more in the preseason. and you're 65% before the move, you're still 58% after the move.
Mm-hmm.
Which are the ones that have moved already that amount thus far?
I got 3, I believe. These are the Bengals is the biggest one. So this one from 3.5 on Friday out to 6.5, 7 most places now. Now this is mainly, all the ones I'm about to go through are like quarterback related, but Teddy Bridgewater just retires over the weekend. Yeah. They're facing the Lions. I have a feeling the Lions are kind of like, we kind of have a quarterback issue for this first preseason game. So yeah, that gets steamed all the way out to 7 on the Cincinnati side. The Titans, which is one I bet when we were sitting here Friday when these dropped, they were catching 2.5. They are now 2.5 3-point favorites on the road at the 49ers. 49ers dealing with injuries, a lot of those as well. So I think that one's really coming into play there. And then the last one is the Broncos from 3.5-point favorites out to 4.5, 5.5 at some places against the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons, same thing, right? I think some banged-up quarterbacks that they're trying to figure out exactly what they'll be going with. That one on Friday night.
And we are not a trends show historically, but because Dr. Bob, we always gave the Dr. Bob one through the years, the week 1 to week 2 preseason ones, and we just started out with the macro one about games that move large amounts. Just one more. This is from covers.com. Road dogs of plus 2.5 or less. Do you know what they are over the last 113 games? Road dogs of plus 2.5 or less.
Something silly. 65%.
60. So right there. 75 and 38 against the spread.
Yeah.
67%. 66 point something percent. 75 and 38 against the spread. Now, part of that, again, is because when you're getting the plus 2.5s, right? In the regular season, you don't want those clearly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Field goals. We know how that goes with key numbers. But in the preseason, these teams don't want to. They're so anxious in a tie game. They're not kicking a field. They're going for it.
Right.
They want to just put the, absolutely are not interested in having games tied. So if you're up a couple points, you're not going to try to get that above the number. It's just a absolute different animal once again. The other things, again, fade new coaches is always a tried and true thing. We got 10 of them this year, Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Brady of the Bills, Jeff Hafley of the Dolphins, John Harbaugh, Clint Kubiak, Michael Fleur, Mike McCarthy, Jesse Minter, Todd Monken, Robert Saleh, Kevin Stefanski. And then there's team-specific angles. Chicago Bears, 9-2-1 straight up, 10-2 against the spread their last 12 preseason games. That's Ben Johnson and more. And the Bengals, historically with Zach Taylor, this is all Zach Taylor, 9-1 straight up in their last 11. They don't really care so much about preseason and getting guys hurt.
Yeah, I think it is important to know. You and I go over this like every year, like the Matt Humans has his quarterback depth chart article up at VSiN.com. He does that every year. I always think
it's great.
Yeah, it's great. It's important to know what these quarterback depth charts are. That's a lot of what I'm doing with preseason betting. And then I don't know how you feel about it. We've talked about this every year, but the coaches for me, it's always like I think there's a lot of noise when you go over ATS records for preseason with the coaches, but there are like the few that care more than others. There are the few that care less than others. And I think those are important to just be aware of.
I agree. I wouldn't go too far past it.
Right, yeah, and we've got these broken out, like Robert Saleh, like returning. I didn't realize 10-2-1 straight up, 10-3 against the spread. I didn't realize, but that's enough. That's enough sample for me to take notice. And then John Harbaugh,
the most famous,
right? 47-17, both straight up and ATS in his career as a preseason or career as an NFL head coach. 47-17 ATS in the preseason over the course of his career. You got to think, too, him taking over a new team, right? There's got to be a lot of players and situations to figure out.
Yeah, he cares.
You would think that's going to matter a fair amount this preseason.
Sean McVay, not so much.
The Sean McVay, so this is the best ATS records I put together. You catch this, Gill? Right?
Yes, he's
12
terrible,
and 16.
terrible, straight up, but great ATS.
Yeah, he's caught it with the number ATS 15, 11, and 1. But he's a guy when we see sit guys all the time, and has basically said he doesn't care about the preseason.
You know who else not so good? Dan Quinn, 7, 17, and 1 ATS across 2 head coaching stints, and Todd Bowles, our buddy Todd Bowles, not so much. 8 and 14 straight up, 7 and 15 ATS in the preseason since 2013 of the Tampa Bay Bucks. So, all that stuff, put it in the mix. All that stuff matters. But again, the biggest one at the very top, if they move, try to get ahead of it. There's not many betting vehicles better than that. And even if you miss it, still not terrible. Really good historically. The other thing that I did in my spare time, and I probably shouldn't wedge it in here, but beyond the preseason, this is the last day or two of vacation. I was like, hey, the Rams play the Niners in Australia.
Yeah,
I did a bit of a deep dive on that.
But by the way, there's not like enough times that we could say that before that game kicks off.
It's in Australia?
Yes. Every sports book needs to be doing a better job of like the locations for these international games, just like painted on top of the game.
Yes, I agree completely.
Because how many people, we brought that up as soon as lines released, how many people were rushing to that and be like, wow, the Rams are only laying 3 at home? Like, let me go bet that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Let me save that because I was curious. I was like, because it was like it was sort of a rather big research project. I was like, all right, international series. I threw out all the Western Hemisphere games, so the Brazils of the world and the Mexicos, I threw those out. But in terms of like time zone differences, when they went to Europe, London, Ireland, Germany, obviously it's still not Australia, but you get a better sense of time zone differences. What is the historical record of teams that go early versus teams that go late?
Oh, love it.
So we'll do that in a bit as well,
because that is something we've dived into that in the past.
That took a long time to, by the way, research and go through that. And I don't know that the results are that interesting in the end.
Yeah, I'm glad you did it.
But since we're, for whatever reason, a departure of a trend kind of preseason show, I figured we'd do one for the regular season.
I mean, how often have we said, I stand by this, so I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Like, I'm a believer in the team that gets there early. Like, you get there early, you get more time to adjust. I'm a believer in that. So I'm interested to see what your results say.
Yeah, I think there's two minds. But we'll find out what the numbers corroborate. Real quick, though, biggest injury here of the weekend, I have to say this because it's my squad. Laramie Tunzel.
Yeah, huge.
Tricep tear, out for a long time. They don't know. They're not saying exactly how long, but a significant portion of the regular season. A team like Washington that every preseason, preview, betting or otherwise on them, starts with the only thing that matters is the health of Jaden Daniels. And yes, that's true. But you know what? If I had to pick one other player, it'd be Laramie Tunzel protecting Jaden Daniels.
For real.
And this is already a team that has a brutal schedule to start. At Eagles, at Cowboys, home Seahawks, then a London game before they wrap up right before the bye with the Niners away on Monday night. The last thing they can afford are injuries, let alone key ones. And this is just a terrible start to things for Washington. They're going to try to move Sam Cosmi over. Maybe it's not the same. So that's a brutal injury. Teams, before they even start, man, behind the 8 ball. Coming back, Greg Peterson, MLB, next.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Don't forget to check out the Sharp Plays Unmatched Transparency with records updated daily, AI betting analysis, real-time global betting info, and alerts directly from the pros. SharpPlays.com. Check it out. Scan the QR code there on your screen for more. It's Gill Alexander. We get tweets. Beating the book, James Fraction, our buddy from Maryland. Merlin, as we said. He said, finally, Gill is back in the hizzy. Do you have any Canadian tennis match or U.S. Open futures investments that you would recommend without the NFL? I need something to nibble on now. I have no tennis for the first time in 6 weeks.
I was going to say, you were firing while you were out.
Oh, man, the whole time. Great July.
Actually, you were just reading that tweet, and I was like, did we screw up at the beginning of the show?
No. Great July in tennis. This tournament, I have given back some. It has not been fun.
What are we calling the tournament? This confuses me every year because we send the women to where? Montreal and the men to Toronto?
They switch it every year. So this year, the women are in Toronto and the men are in Montreal. But
I didn't even know that.
Now they call it the National Bank Open. It's whoever the sponsor is, right? They always switch with tennis tournaments. Anyway, today is you got 2 women's matches, 2 men's matches. We're in the quarters, and there was nothing bettable to me. Biggest match on the men's side, of course, is Fils versus Hodar. Artur Fils, Rafael Hodar. Man, good luck deciding who wins that one or picking who wins that. Battle of 2 great young tennis players. And then on the ladies' side, Iga set up nicely now with no Sabalenka. She's trying to win another 1,000. She's won double digits worth of them in her career, so we'll see if she can get it done. She takes on Deanna Schneider, but I think all the lines are where they should be today.
U.S. Open futures, next segment. Stick around.
Stick around. Rick Ollier, Gilly walking back into VSiN Studios like Agamemnon entering Troy. Football season must be near. I don't know that reference because I didn't see Odyssey, but I'm sure it's fantastic.
Yeah, man. King Agamemnon of, King
what?
Agamemnon?
Agamemnon.
I forget from which Greek state. Greek state? Do we have states in Greece? What were they called back then?
I think we might have back in the day. Yeah.
Think so.
Yeah.
City-states?
Sparta was a city-state. That's right.
City-state, right?
Good job, Kelley.
Thank you.
Chris Heath just tried the preseason 10-point teaser at my far and away, and it's not taking them this season. That's the thing. With those 3-team 10-point teasers, man, they are like going the way of
Oh, yeah, I forgot to check.
the Edsel.
I made one teaser, won 6-point on the preseason lines this week.
Bookmaker still has them available.
10?
Yep. Minus 130, though, I believe. Jeff Levine. Gil, what are the start and end points of the 1-point plus system? Not sure what you mean by that. John Balducci. I don't know what happened over the weekend, but Dustin is not aging well. Oh, thank you very little. Thank you very little. Gibby, I attended the ITF women's tournament in Landisville, Pennsylvania this past weekend and learned a valuable lesson.
Nice.
Betting against a woman that is clearly injured and tired doesn't matter if the woman you bet on is bad at tennis. Very, very true. Absolutely true. And iHeart SEC podcast. Want to personally thank you for the Boston Red Sox most wins in July. He got 30-1, one step closer to taking care of my podcast traveling budget. How about that? iHeart SEC podcast is going to take a podcast traveling budget.
There you go.
With the Boston Red Sox seed. Ladies and gentlemen, he and I have a date. No date confirmed, but we have a standing
mandate
promise to go to Texas Roadhouse together. And then as soon as I brought that up, Kelley and the crew are like, we're coming too. Guess who's paying for that one? Yeah, Daddy's paying for that one. Greg Peterson joins us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. Follow him on Twitter at gunit_81. What's happening, Greg?
If you say Texas Roadhouse and free, you know I'm there.
That's right. Let's go.
Hey, I'll pay for Texas Roadhouse if you cover every other future meal.
No deal. No deal. Nice try, though. Almost snuck it by me. Greg, how's it going? Dating life is good? All good with your personal life? Yes?
Yep. Things are great. As a matter of fact, went to Texas Roadhouse last night myself. So that was very good. And of course, glad to have you back, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. We'll dive deeper into Greg's life on future shows, but we have to get into a 5-pack of plays. Let's start with the Mets and the Braves today, Greg. Braves playing good baseball. The Mets, oddly, playing good baseball as well. We'll talk about fewest wins a little later on in the show. They're a candidate for that. You've got a total play in this one.
Yeah, with the Mets averaging 5.2 runs per game in their 15 games without Juan Soto. That's not something I've necessarily saw coming. And now they get a guy in Bryce Elder who's looked elderly recently. He's posting up overall for the season like a 3.65 ERA. Fielding independent is going much higher, giving up 1.4 home runs per 9 innings. For the Mets, as you know, they traded away pretty much their entire bullpen at the trade deadline. Now, Christian Scott been very good with the 11 strikeouts per 9 innings, but he does rack up quite a few walks with about 4 walks per 9 innings. Atlanta Braves, top 5 team in terms of run creation at home. So I do think that you're going to get a lot of run production in this game. Right now, seeing 8 to 8.5, even at an 8.5, I'd be willing to take a shot on the over. I did take plus money on the Mets on the money line. They've been playing much better baseball since the trade deadline.
Phillies and Cardinals, another matchup today. Again, very strange schedule. We got 10 games. 6 are West Coast late games. This one is at Busch, though, between the Phillies and the Cardinals. Phillies still have designs on, the NL East may be fading away. 8.5 out now. Certainly still have designs on the playoffs. St. Louis, for that matter, still has designs on sneaking in as a wild card. This is a pretty closely lined game. Phillies are minus 118. How are you playing this?
Yeah, but I'm going to take the home underdog here with the St. Louis Cardinals. Oddly enough, both of these teams have terrible offensive splits in this game. For the Phillies, last in the National League in terms of run creation away from them. Cardinals are actually in the bottom two in terms of run creation at home among National League teams, but I trust in Hunter Dobbins a little bit more. About a 3.60 ERA. Fielding depends a little bit higher than that in the 4 range, but he's been able to get 8 strikeouts per 9 innings, right around 3 walks per 9. And for Andrew Painter, while he had a nice start last time out, man, it's not been good for him. Well above a 6 ERA. Backed up by a bullpen that's been very shaky. For the Phillies, they also had to go to 11 innings yesterday against Blue Jays as well, so a little bit more bullpen use than what you were expecting there, with Painter giving up over 1.7 home runs per 9 innings, not having a lot of command. I think that this is a good spot for the Cardinals being home underdogs. Took them on the money line.
Cardinals 3.5 out of the wild card, the third wild card in the National League. Tampa Bay Rays going to Sacktown to take on the Athletics. The Rays leading August with a 7-1 record in this month. The Athletics take the 27-3 Red Sox and say that's enough of that, and they win 2 in a row at Fenway, win that series. The Athletics are plus 139 as a home dog here.
Yeah, and for the Athletics, they've had 9 wins, and if math serves me correct, 33 losses in their last 43 games. Not good, to say the least. And you want to know who's not been good at their job recently? Freddie Peralta. Freddie Peralta, in his last 8 starts, 34 and a third innings, he's allowed 40 runs. 40!
Jeez.
That's not good. And somehow, some way, you want to hear something even worse? Since June 1st, the Athletics bullpen has a combined ERA of 6.83.
Is that good?
We've right now got a total between 9.5 and 10. It's just not high enough. Like, for Freddie Peralta, great name. He's performing horribly. The Athletics have nobody trustworthy. Jacob Lopez went from 11 strikeouts per 9 innings last year down to 8 this year. I think we get a lot of runs. I think they're flowing like wine out there in Sacramento. Give me the over. I took the Rays on the run line at a slugfest.
By the way, shout out to Jacob Wilson, though, of the Athletics.
Yeah.
I think this went under the radar, pardon me, for a lot of people. Set an MLB record playing his 111th consecutive errorless game at shortstop, surpassing Mike Bordick, formerly of the Orioles, who went 110 games in a row in 2002. Wilson last made an error on July 6, 2025 in a game against the Giants. Hope we're not jinxing him there. But that's amazing at short. Speaking of the Giants, the Bad News Bears in breaking training. My God, are they a dismal defensive team to watch now post-trade deadline. They're plus 137 home dogs against the Astros today.
Yeah, and I had the Giants yesterday. Them leaving the bases loaded in the 8th inning was not great, but I do think that they bounce back here. The Astros coming off of Sunday Night Baseball. Love fading these teams coming off of Sunday Night Baseball that they have to travel on. Hayden Wesneski, since joining the Astros, north of a 4.25 ERA, giving up about 1.5 home runs per 9 innings. And Blade Tidwell actually looks promising. It's a small sample size, but in 17 innings at the big league level, he's only given up 1 home run. He's given up less than 5 walks in that time span. Looked pretty good, solid in the PCO, where it's hard to have an ERA below a 5. Was posting up more around a 4.32 for the Giants. They were able to save a lot of that bullpen with Logan Webb going deep, so took plus money on the Giants on the money line.
All right, and then the Royals, the floundering Dodgers, who break their 7-game losing streak. Dodgers are a $3 favorite, though, against the Royals, who are not having a season.
Yeah, this did not make the write-ups, but I did take plus money on the Royals. Noah Cameron's actually been really good recently, and for the Royals, they've got Bobby Witt Jr. back. For the Dodgers, this continues to be a top 5 offense in terms of run creation, and the Royals bullpen is royally bad. Second worst in terms of bullpen ERA. 7.5, just a little bit too low of a total, even with Drake Skubal out there on the bump. Took the over, and you know what? For a lottery ticket, I took the Royals on the money line myself.
There you go. Greg Peterson's Fab 5. Again, you can follow him on Twitter at @GUnit_81. The great Greg Peterson. Greg, we'll figure out a date and we'll do this. Texas Roadhouse. Can't wait.
Oh, I can't wait either. You're going to love it.
Greg said it's going to change my life. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. Country Clubbin', maybe a little more NFL. Next.
numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
I just want y'all to know that when the VSiN Plus subscription comes out, we are all cooked.
It's good to have you back, man. It's good to have you back.
We're
That
done.
conversation just couldn't take place on remote. Couldn't take place.
Couldn't take place. Tweets, we get them. Mako, Shades of Mako. Why is it always the bottom lip that requires chapstick? It's a great point, Mako. Again, thanks for bringing this up. The top lip never affected, but the bottom lip very sensitive to. Again, if I go to California, it is what's the word you're looking for here, Kelly? I don't want to gross you out here, but supple is what I'm looking for. Then as soon as I get here, I'm serious, man. This thing is like rickety.
I find it interesting what people get afflicted with first. Afflicted. It's always, I always get the finger crotches.
Oh yeah.
Like the finger webbing always gets like red and crackly, and it's
because you're probably pushing off to get up on stuff when you're doing it.
Yeah, you're probably right. And then I get around the nose, like little like around the nose.
Maybe you're blowing your nose too much.
No, that goes for me before the lip.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
we're all different, Kelly.
We're all different,
and we're all okay.
We're all special.
K. James, Poco043, he says 10-point teasers at Bet Now. Available at -120. Bet now, Kelly.
Oh, I checked on a place that you and I share, but not for preseason.
That's what I found.
Yeah.
They'll do it for the regular season because, of course, they will. But preseason, they're hip to it. Patrick Kelly, City States, Burruchaga was a vacay favorite back then. And Darren Frazier, living 80 miles east of your summer home in the city and attended Cal. I envy you in the cool weather. The Bearded Sports Brothers were great, though. Dustin Sweetelson has great chemistry with Kelly Bydlon, but all is right in the world again. Let's have a Hall of Fame caliber week.
Appreciate it.
By the way, Dustin Sweetelson, Dustin Sweetelson back on cashing out as of last night.
Yeah, happy for that guy. Gets his show back, man.
Yes.
I've heard this saying too many times recently, but the yeoman's work that he put in over the summer of filling in for on a million different shows. I mean, Follow the Money here, like it was all over the network.
Yeoman's effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
What's that basis? The yeoman purser.
So glad you just asked.
The yeoman purser, like Gopher on the Love Boat, did so much. He was so versatile.
Okay, so I believe this goes back to like medieval times.
Oh,
but it's a who landowners who owned and farmed their own land in England.
Oh,
that was a yeoman.
Okay.
So you're like, hey, look at that guy. Yeah. He's really working his land hard.
Ready to go country club?
Let's hit the club.
Let's do it. Oh, yeah. Ben Wilson's family, I missed you.
Bunch of yeomans there. Not really. They're not far.
Can I just start with something that has nothing to do with betting?
For sure.
Your girl, Marketa Vondrasova.
Go on.
Go on. Kelly, strangely, as he's observed me betting tennis through the years, he became is infatuated too strong? Maybe. But there's a lady.
Intrigued.
Yeah. She won Wimbledon a few years back, for God's sakes. Marketa Vondrasova, who is the reason that Kelly became interested in her is because she has so many tattoos, and the tattoos are really unattractive.
Yes. They look like if you gave a toddler the exactly tattoo gun or whatever it's called, the ink gun, and said, go to town.
Gun. Technical term. Yeah. So anyway, she won. By the way, we did a Wimbledon podcast a few years back. We didn't even mention her in the preview pod, which we joke about ourselves after. And Drew was always like, why would we have? She just won it out of nowhere. Anyway, Marketa Vondrasova is suspended for 4 years. 4 years. And they released, unlike other sports. 4
years.
Tennis lets you see the 58-page report. Like other sports don't let you see this when they ban you, right? Tennis, 58-page report on her 4-year ban.
When did she get in trouble? Like a month ago?
Like
2
about
months
a month
ago?
ago. Okay. So you know what happened here. So in tennis, you are supposed to give the anti-doping agency, don't hold me to that's the term, or I don't know what it is, right? A 1-hour window every day that you are going to be available for testing.
It's incredible.
Okay, so you give the 1-hour window, but Kelly Bydlon, however, they are still allowed to test you outside of that 1-hour window if they make contact with you, physical contact with you, they face-to-face, right? So Vondrasova, it wasn't within her 1 hour allotted time. They came at 8 p.m. at night to her house. So she now claims, by the way, she signed the refusal letter. Even they told her, they're like, if you sign this, there could be bad consequences for your career. She signed it anyway. She says now she has she had a mental health breakdown. She didn't know what she was getting into. But the evidence in the report says that she referred to that they examined her text messages. She was not having any mental health problems. She actually walked her dog while the person was still at her front door. And she texted her boyfriend using the C word to describe the doping agent that had arrived at her front door. So she was not happy. So she did not get banned because she failed the test. She got banned because she refused the test, which equates in their world to a guilty.
Right. Yeah,
there it is. She's done. 4 years.
DUI situation or something. Yeah,
4 years, though. She's going to be in her 30s. That's your career.
Right? Why even call it 4 years? It's just your entire career.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. So you have to give an hour window every day. And then they can still, it sounds like she just got, served papers. There was, a process server just showing up.
They knocked on her door.
Oh, hey.
They kept knocking. She responded.
Ms. Vondrasova, now I know it's you.
Yeah, exactly.
Here.
Yeah.
Go pee.
What a system.
That's pretty crazy.
Kelley, you have to provide an hour window every day, and I'm still going to test you at different hours of the day.
And if that's tennis, see, then I like to play, how do other sports work? Because, tennis is above average of needing of testing, right? But then, where are cyclers at? They got to be,
And also tennis is it's Sinner? Oh, it's Iga? Never mind.
Yeah, you're good. We'll catch up with you later.
So there's that.
U.S. Open futures?
No plays in Montreal or Toronto today. They head to Cincinnati after this. And Kelley, what Montreal and Cincinnati have in common is no Carlos Alcaraz and no Yannick Sinner. Alcaraz with the wrist injury, Sinner, who gave a scheduling excuse for missing Montreal and is now saying the knee is the issue for Cincinnati. These are the run-ups to the U.S. Open. It's always D.C., Canada, Cincinnati, U.S. Open. That's how it always goes.
I thought that statement was a little concerning yesterday.
So we are staring at a U.S. Open that may not, we don't know this, but there's a possibility there may be no Yannick Sinner or Carlos Alcaraz. Yannick Sinner minus 165 to win the U.S. Open. On the men's side, Carlitos plus 275. So is there a longer shot with the prospect of those two, one of those two, if not both of them, missing tennis's fourth and final slam of the season? Novak Djokovic is the one that leaps off the page, 9-1, searching for that elusive 25th Grand Slam. The all-time leader in singles Grand Slam titles at 24, tied if you want to go, tennis overall with Margaret Court, 24 on the women's side. I think this would be the opportunity of his lifetime, meaning there won't be a better one than this afterwards. And in fact, I think we could be looking at his second to last slam, maybe his last slam ever. He could go out on top, in other words.
That's pretty awesome. Okay, I have 7 follow-up questions to this.
Yep.
Sinner, Alcaraz, who do you expect? Who's more likely to show up, first of all?
I'd have to say Sinner because Alcaraz, this has been going on forever.
Right. I mean, this is still the wrist,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you know this about tennis, but you need your wrist.
This is so unfair. Give me percentages on both.
Oh, I got no idea.
Okay. I mean, Alcaraz, we really have no idea.
I'd say coin flip on both. I'll say coin flip Alcaraz, Sinner 60% he shows up.
I would say he's probably over 50 just because he's here, right?
Yeah.
We at least kind of know he's stateside, right?
Is he? I don't know.
Oh, I guess I thought that because of the tournaments he was so close to playing. Okay, but good point. Maybe we haven't seen him. So think
about if you run that tournament in Montreal, the late exit.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Brutal.
Okay, so Djokovic 9-1, and then who else is on that list? That you think? Well, I guess you get rid.
Rafa Hodar would be the other person you have to look at, 22-1, and Artur Fils, the guys who are playing each other today. He was 35-1. Those are the other players. Now, this is, by the way, apologies to Sasha Zverev, who's like, hey, I'm still here. Who won his first slam at the French this year? Would be in position to win half the slams of the year if he won this one. But I do think that if Sinner and Alcaraz are not able to go, the order that I would look at is Djokovic first, because he's still the best player on tour besides those two guys when he wants to be, followed by Hodar and Fils, who have the most potential of anybody. Apologies to all the other players who are great, but I just think that's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, okay. So no love for Daniil at 30-1. Haven't checked in on him recently.
He just hasn't done much this year to merit
and then
that.
Americans, The old Ben Shelton?
Yeah, it's Ben Shelton.
Or Foe?
I'd say Ben Shelton over everybody, over Fritz, over Foe, over all the guys. If you're looking at the American best prospect. But that is the specter looming over men's tennis right now, where 1A and 1B may not be there for all we know.
And then Iga 9-1, Gill.
Let's see if she can win Toronto. See if she can win Toronto. That win over Kostyuk the other day was sort of Iga saying, "Hey guys, remember me?" Yeah, I do. Sabalenka plus 250, the short shot to win the Women's U.S. Open. That's way too short. Way too short. So many ladies can win that side. Coming back, Wes Reynolds, Adam Burke, and more. It's a numbers game at VSiN.